Lance Mechanics here, and I want to talk about flat rate anxiety. For anybody who doesn't know, flat rate anxiety is a huge thing for a mechanic. It affects everything you do. It rewires your brain, and not in a good way. So, for some perspective here, you're 9 to 5, a regular job. This isn't mechanics. Every day, you know you're going to make 8 hours, maybe even 10 hours, depending what you work. It's 5 days a week. You have a steady paycheck. It's consistent. Now imagine flat rate. You're going into work every day not knowing what you're going to make. You're not going to know at the end of the month if you're going to have enough to pay your bills. It's a really horrible way to live. Salesmen, people based on commission for electronics, you know what I'm talking about. It's a horrible feeling. So just give you perspective. You're a flat rate mechanic. You get a brake job. You're like, oh, they know they need brakes. You get it in. You put it on your hoist. 30 minutes passed. You got the estimate in. You're like, okay, 45 minutes passed. What's going on? An hour passes. It's still on your hoist. You only have one hoist. You can't pull in another car. You get a call from the service advisor saying, kick it out. Put the tires on. They don't want to do it. It's too expensive. They got somebody cheaper. Okay. Shit. Now I'm an hour behind. Boom. You get another job. Same thing. You're 2 hours behind. Boom, you finally get a job that pays. Now you got to rush through it. You bang through the work quick just to catch up because now you're 2 hours behind. And that day you've worked yourself to the bone just for 8 hours. That's flat rate anxiety. You never know what you're going to get. You never know how much you're going to make. It's a horrible way to live. Your brain starts rewiring itself to focus on that as I guess like a trauma response. You start making really poor decisions morally. It affects your life at home. You go home, sleep. You go home stressing. Am I going to make that enough tomorrow? Am I going to have enough to pay for the bills? It is just a shitty situation, a shitty way to live. I remember once when I started out early in my career, the private garage I was at was based on, we had commission on parts and labor, which, was nice, but it really made me make some poor decisions. I think about the time a friend came in and I charged them full retail for a battery. I was in the position to give him a huge discount. I charged him full retail, and for what, a couple dollars. I remember going home thinking, holy crap, what did I do? Like, I felt guilty ever since. Like, it really stuck with me. And it may seem small now, but like, think automotive. This stuff's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. You start making horrible decisions. I don't recommend it for anybody, especially apprentices. I've watched apprentices go from hourly to flat rate, and they change like night and day difference within like an 8 hour shift. They went from being carefree, happy, taking the time, making sure they have no comebacks, to making horrible mistakes, having angry customers, stressed out, absolutely stressed out, asking me hundreds of questions. What do I do? What do I do? How do I get faster? I'm like, you should have been getting faster while you were on the bench, man, but you were taking your time. And that's the flip side. As a licensed mechanic versus the apprentices coming flat rate, you're kind of unsympathetic towards them. And the amount of anxiety they go through in the couple of years that they come flat rate. Dealers love it because they're making money no matter what. And now this guy's flat rate. They don't have to pay him a full 8 hours a day. He's getting work in and out. Being flat rate, it's one of the few industries where if you don't make 40 hours in a week, they don't have any backup system to pay you. Dealership sales, they have something called a draw, which is a law here in Canada. It's another stupid thing. If they don't have any sales, the dealership has to pay them, but they have to pay that back. So the dealership is such a horrible system. And a lot of places, to keep their mechanics, they'll give them a guarantee, whether it be 20 or 30 hours, but it's never the full hours in a week. Isn't that crazy? So you can make them $1 million in a year, but if you have a month where everything's slow, they're not paying you anything. They're paying you less than minimum wage, like, at the end of the day. It's such a horrible system, and I do not recommend it at all. There has to be better ways. And it's not going to change. It won't change, especially with the way it's set up. I'm going to be making more videos explaining this and how utter bullshit a dealership is and how they screw over techs, salesmen, people. Yeah, especially people. So, this is Lance Mechanics. Have a great day.